How you guys doing? Thank you for tuning in today. Advance Motorsports Racing. Today's video is on how to install your performance exhaust on your YXZ1000. So this is our full exhaust system right here. Look at the difference from the headers. Goes to a nice fat exhaust tip. And we're gonna go slap this in. Real simple. In this case, the exhaust gaskets, they're fairly new. They're actually at like 50 hours on them or less. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and use the same ones. They're in very good condition, but I would always recommend replace them, put brand new ones. That way you play it safe. All right, so main thing is just reach all your bolts. Okay, reach them all. Make sure that they're all setting in evenly, and when they reach the end on them, as far as the thread, make sure that both sides are matching. Okay, about the same length. That way you know it's actually sitting down evenly on the gasket, right? So do them one by one. If you see that one that's fairly close, feels good, and it's actually on. Then just kind of move the exhaust up and down slightly to make sure it's set in all the way. Just continue to do the same thing for all the other ones. Alright, so now we got everything set in. You don't tighten this up, okay? Just reach everything by hand. Don't forget to put in the clamp that comes with the actual system. This is for the muffler or silencer. And then we're gonna go ahead and slide this piece on. That's gonna connect actually to the actual silencer. Okay. Alright. Wiggle it. Slide it down. Kind of position it up there and line it up, okay? And then we're gonna bring in the silencer so we could actually see where it's gonna line up. Just kind of reach everything. Alright, so in this exhaust system, you're gonna have 4 bolts that you gotta put in, and this actual crush washer that's here, okay? So don't forget this. In this system, it's gotta have it. And you want to put a little bit of Loctite. Blue Loctite's good for those bolts that are gonna actually mount the actual silencer to the pipe. So let's go ahead and do that. So the easiest way I found, in this case, you're gonna use the actual stock bolt to mount this, but they give you 2 17mm nuts that go on the inside. Okay, that's right here. So you're gonna thread it in like on this one that I did right here already, and then you're gonna use your 17 to hold it on the inside. Okay, right here, and on the outside you're gonna hit it with the 14. You're just gonna reach them. That way it doesn't move, so you're able to install your 4 bolts in the front. Get it? Alright. So now if you see, I actually reached both bolts, but they're not tight. But it allows me to do this. See, the pipe will hold wherever I want it to. It's not tight. That's going to be till the end, and now we're going to do our bolts that connect on the front side, which are Allen's, okay? So on the install of the 4 bolts up front, I was having a little bit of a hard time getting these. See how it moves? Those aligning from side to side. Up and down, not a problem. So what I noticed is the bracket, the mounting bracket, I actually loosened up the 2 bolts in here just enough so that allows me to turn it side to side. That way I could get that exact mount for the aftermarket, because the stock one is slightly moved over. Okay, so just watch that. Go and crisscross your bolts, and then install the other 2, and then reach them. Everything is loose, so you're able to install everything correctly. Alright, so now that we got everything lined up, the first bolts I actually tied up are these mounting bolts here for the muffler. Those 4 crisscross. I torqued them at 6 pounds. I didn't have anything coming in from the factory saying anything otherwise, so I went with my best judgment there. Okay, everything looks good. The install looks great. The pipe looks fat, centered. So now my next step is going to be to tying down the 2 bolts from the mounting bracket that I actually loosened up, tying up the fitting bolts on the side, okay, and then I'm going to finish tying up the header. Alright, so they're pretty. I'm just going to reach them all nice, and then I'm going to torque them down. So like I said, I'm first going to reach these up, tying them up pretty good, but I'm going to hit them with my hand and with the actual 12mm socket before I tighten up the rear muffler mounts. Okay, That way this sets in first. In case there's any adjustments, this is what has to be 100%. Just reach them, nothing too crazy. Make sure they're setting in evenly and the length on the bolts is matching up. And then you could go ahead and torque them once they're all set. Okay. Alright, so I already finished tightening up the header bolts. I personally left them at 16 pounds each. It just varies. You got to check your factory manual, so you could set them up to whatever specs they have, or torque them down to, you know, your experience there. Okay, but they're all crisscrossed evenly. Everything's even. Look at the threads on bolts, no issues. And it's nice and flat, mounted well, so we don't have no issues of the bolts coming undone. This part of the silencers are nice and tightened down, torqued it down to 6 pounds. Check your OEM book so you don't have to deal with that. And then this one right here is the next one we got to tighten up. Your clamp. I actually like to turn it inwards so it doesn't stick out and look ugly. And then you could avoid getting scratched if you ever stick your hand in there. Okay, so let's tighten this down. Alright, there it is. Looks great. Nice and tight. Anti-clamp set. Bolts are torqued at the muffler, at the header, back here on the actual mounting bracket, and like I said, tying up the 14s inside, which you might have loosened like I did to allow it to swivel side to side. And there it is, man. Next thing we gotta do is fire it up so you can hear it. Should be a beast with the computer being reflashed and the intake being set up, which we're going to do right now, a K&N and a high flow uni filter. We're going to knock it out. Stay tuned, guys. Thank you for following us. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any questions about this video, please go ahead and send them. And if you have any questions, call us 619-691-0866 Advance Motorsports. We'll help you out over the line, and we could also sell you a lot of these products, and we could recommend different ones that you might be able to try out and see for yourself. It's all on the likes of the people. Thank you.